Hey everyone, this is Jennifer Beamer, owner-operator of Actually Diet Art by Science, and this is Fiber Talk episode number 4, and today we're going to talk about Falkland wool. Now, long time ago when I was first starting to experiment with dyeing and I was branching out from just spinning merino and Cotswold, I decided to try slightly finer wools, and I wasn't quite into the merino range. So with my guildmates, they helped me out and they said, why don't you try Falkland? Why don't you try Romney? Because they're softer, but not necessarily unmanageable. So I found some Falkland and started spinning and I loved it. It was so easy to spin and it felt good in the hand and had a pretty long staple length, but it didn't feel like it was bouncing out of control. If you've ever worked with things like merino or cormo, you know what I'm talking about. Those fibers, they really poof up a lot when you've washed and set the yarn. But Falkland doesn't do that so much. It more or less just holds its density. It's not a dense wool when you spin it, but it's kind of like if you were to remove the bounciness from merino, it would still be a really good solid core. So today I wanted to talk about my experience with Falkland and the curious thing that I encountered when I was reading the Fleece and Fiber Sourcebook. Now, most of the time you're going to get Falkland in a roving or combed top preparation. It's fairly soft. The stuff that I most often use is graded at 24 to 26 microns. I haven't really used anything else, like nothing more coarse or more fine than that. And for all the spinning that I've done like bags with it. I've also done like lace yarns and sock yarns. I also have here, this is one of the dyed colorways that I did. I think it's called Antique Flowers. Yeah, Antique Flowers. And this is 100% Falkland, and it's a single. I'll show you here. It's a really pretty colorway. But it's more of a softer hard-wearing wool, if that makes sense. So you can use it for things like socks, you can use it for mittens that you actually use for working, like if you're going to do outside gardening stuff in the wintertime. I would like to have Falkland mittens because they're still soft and warm, but they're a little bit more durable than merino, for example. And they make really great socks. But when I was reading the Fleece and Fiber Sourcebook, I learned that there is no such thing as Falkland sheep. Talk about a truth bomb, right? So, the term Falkland refers to wool grown on the Falkland Islands off the coast of Argentina, but there isn't a Falkland breed of sheep. In fact, what it is, it's a combination of Polwarth, Merino, Corriedales, and Romney. So it's kind of a mixed breed that kind of gets all categorized as wool from some location rather than wool from some specific breed of sheep. So I thought that was really interesting, and it really does explain why I don't ever see Falkland sheep and why I hadn't seen it in this book. I'm about 2/3 of the way through the book and 3/4 of the way through all of the wool categories, like the wool that comes off a sheep, and then it goes off into a luxury category that talks about wool from like alpacas and rabbits and stuff like that. So, but it makes a lot of sense now that I think about it, but you know, going into it, I thought Falkland was from the sheep, the Falkland sheep, but that's actually not the case. Anyway, so it's a little fuzzier than typical finer wools like merino. When you spin it, it actually kind of just like lays down. It doesn't really have a poofy exterior. But see if I can do this for you. If I can do like a close-up, showing off some of the fuzziness. It's not the same kind of fuzziness I would expect with a finer wool. It's a kind of fuzziness I would expect with a wool like Romney. I think it captured it. So when I spin it, it actually spins so easily. This is why I suggest it as a good beginner fiber, and probably why it was suggested to me for people who are trying to sort of either do a thinner gauge yarn or they want something that's a little softer. A lot of times when people learn how to spin with wool, they will be given something that's a little bit more coarse. Not necessarily good for wearing around the neck, especially for people who have sensitivities. So when you're trying to move down in micron range, there's also a more steep learning curve, because not only are you learning how to spin and getting used to the whole spinning process, but then you also have to grapple with the fact that these fibers are extremely soft, and with the really fine wools like merino and polwarth, they're very poofy. So it's something that you don't really expect when you're first spinning. So Falkland kind of really fills a desperate need for those spinners who want to try something new, but they're still wanting to kind of ratchet back on the difficulty scale. So Falkland is there for that. But I thought it was very interesting that Falkland is not actually a sheep. It's a blend of different breeds. Anyway, so if you thought that was interesting, give me a thumbs up, because I was kind of blown away when I first read that. Anyway, if you like this video series and you want to show your support, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And there will be some links in the description below in case you want to check anything out. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye! Did you like watching this video? Click Monty if you would like to subscribe, or click Socket if you want to see more videos. Thanks for watching.